That's it. No more energy drains. Holy cannoli. I'm done with it. Oh my gosh. So many times it feels like, you're going along swimmingly, and next thing you know, you just can barely get up off the couch. Let me know if you've ever had energetic dreams yourself, where you've been talking with someone, you've been at a party, maybe it was just a long week of work, and you feel like the exhaustion goes beyond bone deep. This was one of the reasons why I started my journey along the pathway of learning more and more about energy, because these energetic drains, they just rob you of your joy of life. I find that when people have energetic drains, they lose their confidence, they lose their drive, they lose that sense of self, they second guess, they question, they're in a state of chaos, and it feels like they just have no intuition. They'll ask question after question. I see it when I've taught my mastering intuition students how to speak the language of intuition using cards or pendulums or through other practices. It's always fun to have the toys and tools to sharpen the language. But sometimes, and it's seen often with card reading, it becomes like fishing. Like you keep asking the same question over and over. Maybe you change it a little bit, but you're looking for, it's like the answer just isn't, it's just not coming up. Like it just doesn't feel satisfactory. There's this disconnect, and the disconnect is very real. And it's because of the energetic drains. There's too much chaos and noise and confusion that doesn't belong to you in your aura, in your personal bubble space, or in your energy field, however you like to call it. So I love to share this one particular recipe with my clients, with my mastering intuition students. I'm going to share it with you today. It's my energy recipe for no more energy drains, strengthening that and reconnecting your intuitive voice, really being able to hear it. This is something that the yogis know. In order to be able to get into that still place where you can hear the voice of intuition, movement is important. So there are three steps. I wanted to say spots, but 3 steps when it comes to getting rid of the energy drains and reconnecting to your intuitive guidance, because it's there. It's just bad connection. There's too much noise in your field. That's why you haven't been able to get to it, why you feel like I'm not intuitive. Like, how do I do this? How do I trust my gut? How do I move forward? How do I know what the right decision is? So movement. The yogis knew that in order to sit for meditation, to sit in stillness where that intuitive voice has a chance of getting through with more ease, movement is important. Why? Why is movement important? Well, meditation is challenging, especially when you do seated meditation. Number one, there's a flexibility factor. Whether you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, like just throw lotus out the window. Okay, great if you can meditate lotus, but for most of us mere mortals, just even trying to sit cross-legged on the floor is torture. Even sitting in a chair can be difficult for a long period when you need to sit with a proper meditation posture. And what would that be? Well, you want to sit with a long, tall spine. The spine is a key piece of connecting to our intuition, connecting us with that channel of light, the Sushumna Nadi. So making sure that the spine is long and tall, because Iyengar always would say, you're as young as your spine is flexible. I love that. I think about that often because our spine gets tight and it stiffens from sitting in chairs for long periods of time. So how can we sit with a long, tall spine? You need strength in your core. You need strength in your back, and you need the flexibility of the hips to be able to open, and the shoulders. If we're too tight in the chest, it's going to pull us forward. Too tight in the hip flexors and hips, we're going to round. There's a whole host of things. So movement is great because it's going to give you the strength and the flexibility to become still. The other reason that movement is great is that it helps you move the big emotions and thoughts up and out. It helps you to process it. I have clients who love to run, and they love to run because it clears their mind. They run out their emotions and thoughts. They have some of their best moments of inspiration at the tail end of their runs. Why? Because they're utilizing the power of those big emotions that chaos is created within their field in order to process them. And we don't all have to run. Maybe it's a sun salutation. Heck, I just did a few little hip openers this morning. And it's miraculous. When I taught yoga full time, I was always blown away by how many people would say, oh, they're getting so old, aches and pains. And I get it. But I think a lot of those aches and pains can be bypassed when you incorporate movement into your routine, whether it's through yoga or stretching. It's incredible. It's incredible how vibrant and alive you can feel. You're working with so many acupressure points too when you do, especially the yoga postures. So movement is key. Movement is going to help get you flexible, strong, and it's going to clear the big emotions and thoughts that have been creating the chaos around you and making it challenging to hear your intuition. The second M, number 2, is meditate. And meditate, that's an important piece because it's in that stillness that you really connect to your inner knowing. And that inner knowing, what does that mean? Well, that might be your higher self, that might be your angels, that might be God universe. And you set the intention of, who am I connecting with? Who am I looking for answers from? A lot of people will say, oh, the answers are within. And it's interesting because I always have, being raised within Christian faiths, I have had some pastors and priests along the way are like, the answers aren't within, like you need to go to God. But I always see going within as that connection to God. We have the Holy Spirit within us. We have that divine connection within our heart space. So by going within, I feel that it is a beautiful connection with Source and with God. And in order to hear that guidance, if we have everybody else's voice and opinions and beliefs in our space, it's a challenge because that voice of intuition, it's quiet. It's not going to yell. It's love-based, and there's a lot of fear out there. And fear and negativity always seem to weigh out the love and positivity in day-to-day things. Have you noticed that? Where you might have 100 compliments from someone saying, oh, you know what? I love that outfit on you. It looks fantastic. Your hair looks great today. Your skin is glowing, whatever it is. And then somebody comes up and they say one negative thing, and it's like, oh, it seems to outweigh all that beautiful positivity. So if we have a lot of fear and negativity in our space, maybe from well-meaning friends and loved ones, maybe there's something your heart has been calling you to do, like take a leap of faith. It could be something as simple as changing how you eat, changing up your daily routine. It could be something bigger with career or relationships, and well-meaning friends, they get worried. I'm having a lot of fun kind of finding other people who are letting their hair go gray, because I want to go that route myself. It's like, okay, I'm done with the coloring. So I'm looking for wise guides who have walked the path before me. And one of the things they talk about is their friends and family members who are like, yeah, good luck with that. You're going to last like a couple days and then you're going to be dyeing your hair, good luck. Like, yeah, like, like almost like the backhanded compliments. And then that gets into your head and you're like, oh, I won't look good, or, I'll be terrible, or nobody will, oh. So what an incredible thing to be able to connect as well with people who have walked this path before us. That's another thing with meditation that I love. When I first really got deep into meditation, I remember one of the styles I practiced talked about the preparation for meditation. And part of it was setting an intention, and you could almost say invoking or calling on a teacher, like a wise one who's walked the path. And I remember I called on this one teacher who's up in heaven and connected and just said, you know what, I would love your guidance and help with this. I wasn't able to study with you when you were here on this earthly plane, but please, help bring the right people across my path. And it was so wild because literally later that week, I'd been meditating in my yoga studio in between classes. And later on that week, I had 2 students of his show up at my yoga studio door. And when they came in and we did group meditation, oh, it was incredible. It's cheating. I'm just going to say that right out. But you can ride the coattails, kind of like drifting with vans or big tractor trailers and going up a hill, and you kind of catch their wave of energy and it helps pull you up. you can ride the coattails of experienced meditators. So being in the presence of a wise one, someone who has lit a pathway, walked before you, experienced this, their energy can affect you. It can help you taste that experience of what it's like to get into a really beautiful meditative state. Now, do we always want to rely on that cheat? No, but every now and then it's nice to have support. It's nice to have a tool to give us hope, to be like, oh my gosh, this is what it's meant to be like. Well, this is lovely. Of course, I'm going to want to sit and meditate or do a walking meditation or a visual meditation or like a mantra. So many different types of ways to meditate. It doesn't have to be seating or seated. Oh my gosh. Not enough coffee today. Seated, sitting, or still. You can do a moving meditation. And if you're curious about more forms of meditation, just write meditation in the comments and I'll share some things with you. But movement is a big part. You got to move your body. Move your body. It's going to help get the big noise up and out. Meditation, however that looks for you, create a meditation practice. And I can go into that in more detail if you want more guidance and info on that. And then the last thing, muse. And what do I mean by muse? Don't necessarily find a muse, but muse, think about things. I love creating little alliterations and recipes. So it's like a triple M, meditate or move, meditate, and muse. Why do I say muse? It's important to digest the information that comes up. It's important to practice discernment, what the yogis call viveka, to figure out what really is truth for me. This might work for someone else. Maybe we had an inspiration while we were meditating. Maybe we remembered someone's words, and it could be helpful. It could be, that's why I love to call myself a guide. I'm not a coach. I'm not here to, how do I want to say, I'll describe it in the way that I feel more of guide rather than coach. I can't think of the negatives of that. But the reason that I love the word guide is because I love to walk alongside you. I love to kind of point out along the path, like, oh my gosh, you know what? This is an incredible tool, or an incredible herb or flower or whatever it is. I think about the wise women with the weed walks, like, oh, this is the nettle. This is so great for this. And this is the oat straw, great for that, and the comfrey. So I walk alongside you and I light a pathway and I say, oh, this is a great tool for calming the mind and letting go of anxiety. I'd love to share it with you. Would you like to learn? Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So I share all of my experiences. Then my clients and students, they get to play with it. That's where the musing comes in. That's where the discernment comes in. That's why I created the Mastering Intuition program, because I want to bring forward all these sacred practices and tools that I've collected and curated and created over these years that have helped me so much and helped my students, and bring them like a buffet forward and say, here's a little taste. Let's see if you like it. You might discover, no, I don't like that. That's not for me at all. I have clients who they just don't like tapping. It's not their thing, but they love to use the pendulum to help open up and clear chakras. Maybe they're like, you know what? Tarot isn't for me, but I love oracle cards or I love astrology. Who knows? But I bring it all forward. So you're musing, you're digesting, you've taken this information in, you're trying it on. Like, is this for me? Do I like it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And you come to your own understanding, because as a guide, I recognize that your beautiful spirit has a calling on this planet in this lifetime. It's not the same as mine, might be similar. It's not the same as neighbors or family members. So that's why maybe different energy recipes or tools might not work the same for you. But to be able to be in a space where you can try it and test it and taste it and experience it, wow, that's fantastic. Make it your own. It's a most beautiful experience. So when it comes to stopping the energy drains, the goal of these 3Ms is for you to more fully embody who you are in this lifetime. So movement, I feel like I'm wagging my finger. Move that body however you want to. Dance it out, sing it out, run it out, yoga it out. Then meditate. because then your mind and your body are going to be more willing to just pause and to listen. And then finally, muse. Muse on the things that came up. Think about it, digest it, try it on, see if it fits. It might not. You might find that you need to try it a couple times, you know? I remember the first time I had tofu, it was kind of like, oh, I don't know. This is scary, right? Why is it scary? But it was for me. And I had incredible friends who sat alongside me and they said, well, try it like this. And what about like this? Try this recipe. And I did. I'm like, oh, this is wonderful and delicious. So it's an honor to walk alongside you on your path. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Oh, Hannah, thank you so much. I'm glad I can shine today for all of you. It's a joy to spend this time with you. And again, if you have comments, drop them below. I love, 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 or questions, love to help guide you on your path. And let me know what you want to learn more about, because this time is for you. It really is. And if this has been helpful, please do share it with a friend and to get those notifications of when these come up live. So Inklings every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. But it is so helpful, and I'm so thankful when you subscribe and you hit the little notification bell so that you're notified. Thanks so much. Have a great, great day, and much love to you. Happy trails. Bye, guys.